Okay? Last topic for design of flexural members would be the calculation of shear strength. Nabanggit ko nakaraan na pag nag-calculate ka ng flexural strength, dapat kasama din yung shear strength doon, okay? Or even yung deflection check, okay? So, sige. Yung basically yung shear, no? Shear strength calculation, related yan dun sa mga topic na discuss sa inyo sa lower year, yung calculation ng horizontal shear stress, wherein yung formula is ito, no? Tau, yung ibang equivalent niyan is F F sub B, small letter F sub B is equal to BQ over IB. Wherein yung B mo, ito yung shear force, no? Shear force mo. Apply dun sa cross section. Yung Q mo, ito yung first moment about the centroidal axis of the area in consideration. No? Tapos yung I mo is the moment of inertia ng buong section, and yung B, ito yung width nung section wherein gusto mong hanapan ng horizontal shear stress. Okay? Para mas ma-visualize nyo, okay, and just a recap na lang to, let's try to check yung application nito on a rectangular section. So say for example, you have a rectangular section like so, meron kang height and meron kang width, no, dun sa section mo. Sabi, para makalculate mo daw yung maximum horizontal shearing stress, no, yung tau max, ito daw yung equation mo, derived formula na to. Okay? So, ganun kasi, no, derived formula na to. Pero as we have mentioned, ang formula talaga na gagamitin natin, okay, to calculate yung pinaka-horizontal shear stress natin, ito talaga yon, yung BQIB. Okay? Now, pagdating sa rectangular section, ito yung expected mo na shear stress distribution, okay, doon sa given section mo. Okay? Now, mag-example tayo para mas maintindihan nyo. Okay? So, meron tayong section, okay, like so, and yung section natin is um, hahanapan natin ng horizontal shearing stress at distance y. Okay? At distance y daw. Gusto nating malaman ano ba yung horizontal shearing stress natin. Okay? So obviously kung yung height natin is h, yung kalahati niyan or yung centroid natin, neutral axis nasa gitna, and yung height na to is h over 2, Okay? Ito is width b. Okay? So again, ang problem natin, ano ba yung horizontal shearing stress sa location na to at distance y from the neutral axis. Okay? So, kung i-apply mo yung equation na 'to, yung BQIB, okay? Calculate mo muna yung Q, no? Yung Q, yun ang pinakamabilis eh. Itong Q or yung first moment of area, no? Or sa ibang bukata is statical area yung term na ginagamit nila, no? So, yung Q kasi ang equivalent niyan is simply the area, no? At that location na gusto mong hanapan ng horizontal shearing stress times yung kanyang location ng centroid niya to the distance from the centroid ng area na 'to to the neutral axis. Okay? Yun lang yun. Q is equal to A Y. Okay? So, define lang natin yung area, no, na tinatawag dito. So, yung area na yan, kung ang equivalent niyan is kung dito mo gustong hanapan ng horizontal shearing stress at that distance, sa lahat ng area papataas, no, from the extreme fiber, yun. Yun yung tinutukoy niya, yung shaded region na to. Okay, yun yung area na yun. So, halimbawa, gusto mo hanapan dito ng horizontal shearing stress sa neutral axis. So, yung area na dapat mo i-consider, itong kalahati, no? Nung rectangular section mo. Okay? So, sa case kasi na to, dito. So, ibig sabihin yung area mo from this point going to this point, itong shaded region. Okay? Yung definition ng y prime, as I mentioned, yung centroid ng shaded area na to going to the neutral axis. Yun yung y bar. Now, sige, calculate natin yung area, okay, ng shaded region. So, that is simply yung width niya, B. Okay, ito yung B. Okay? And tapos yung pinaka-height niya na to. Okay? Yung height niya na yan is simply, kung yung height na to is h over 2, so basically h over 2 pala yon, tapos ibawas lang natin tong height y. Okay? Ang ibibigay niya na dimension, ito, yung height ng ating shaded region. Okay? Kaya naging ganito, h over 2 minus y. So ito na yung pinaka-area natin, okay, sa equation natin. And then yung y bar, no, yung y bar na to, para makalculate mo siya, basically ano lang siya, no? Itong y, distance y, tapos kalahati nung pinaka-height ng ating shaded region. Eh paano ba na natin makukuha yung height na to? Yun nga, yung nakalculate na natin kanina, okay? Yung height na to ng shaded region is also this one. So ibig sabihin, i-divide ko lang pala to by 2. Okay? So ito na yon. Okay? Y plus divide ko by 2. Okay? Multiply mo yan, i-simplify mo, ito yung lalabas na equation. Okay? So, sige. Nawala tayo, no? tuloy pa natin yung calculation. Remember, yung moment of inertia of a rectangular section is BH cube over 12. Plug in natin sa equation. Ito yung B, okay, sa BQIB. Okay? Yung Q natin, okay, ito yon, which is also this one. Okay? Ito rin yon. Yung I natin, moment of inertia, ito yon. Okay? Pero yung B natin, okay, B din. Pero pwede natin i-plug in, kaya dito naging B squared na siya. Okay? Kasi multiplied by B. Okay? Simplify mo daw yan, ang lalabas mo na equation is ito. Okay? And ito yung expected mo na shear distribution. Okay? So, ganun lang kinakalculate yung ating horizontal shearing stress. Now, punta tayo sa wide flange kasi wide flange yung topic natin. So, dito sa example ko na to, no? For the sake of demonstration lang to. No? Para ma-explain sa inyo ano ba nangyari pagdating sa wide flange. So, say for example, meron tayong 18 by 50, tapos meron tayo daw shear force na 100 kips. No? Demonstration lang, kaya nag-English unit tayo. Okay? So, ito yung depth, flange width, thickness of web, thickness of flange. Kung kukunin mo daw, ipapakita mo yung pinaka shear distribution doon sa section mo. Ito daw yung makikita mo. Okay? And kung i-apply mo yung BQIB dyan, okay? Ang calculation na to, no, pa isa-isa, okay, halimbawa, gusto kong kunan ng shearing stress yung flange, okay, yung maximum. No? Obviously, andito yon. Okay? So, ano ba yung pinaka shear natin? Ayun nga, yung 100. Ano ba yung yung Q, ang definition is area times Y, di ba? So ano ba yung pinaka-area natin? Yung area nga, yung area lang ng flange. No? Ano ba yung area ng flange? 7.5 times 0.57. So yun na yun, okay? Tapos ito mga to, same na lang. Parameter lang, no? Kung on how to calculate. So I would let you do the ano na lang kung paano siya na-generate, no? Pero yun lang yun, no? Basically. So sumalabas na 0.6 KSI yung shearing stress dun sa boundary ng flange. Okay? Now, next item, yung sa web naman daw, horizontal shearing stress sa web, pero yung minimum, which is meaning dun sa boundary, no? Sa boundary ng ng web and flange. So, ganun pa din, no? BQ, IB, pero dito mapansin mo yung thickness na ginamit niya, yung thickness lang ng web. Okay? Yung thickness lang ng web. Okay? Kasi web na yung usapan natin eh. And lumalabas na 13.1 KSI din daw yan. Let me repeat, demonstration purposes lang to. I would let you do the checking kung paano to nag-arrive. Basically, ito lang yung equation na yun. Okay? And lastly, yung shearing stress naman dun sa gitna, no? Sa neutral axis. So yung formula doon is ito. Okay? So ang lumalabas is 17.6 KSI yung ating horizontal shearing stress. Okay? Now, meron na tayong shearing stress. No, balik tayo dun sa equation natin, di ba? Sabi natin is stress is equal to force over area, or kung papalitan mo to ng shear, itong numerator mo, kasi shear tayo, so ibig sabihin, shear is equal to stress times area. Okay? So ito na yun, no? For demonstration purposes lang. Yung shear force acting at flange is simply yung shear stress, okay, which is 0.6, times yung area ng flange, which is 7.5, ito yun, times yung thickness of flange, 0.57. Nagkaroon ng 1/2 kasi approximately lang naman, triangular yung pinapakita dito. Okay? So, lumalabas that is 1.3 kips, no, shear force acting on each flange. Okay? So, how about yung flange, shear force acting dun sa web? Okay? Yung shear force acting sa web is simply, kunin mo na lang yung total na 100 kips. Tapos, i-minus mo yung dalawang shear force acting dun sa dalawang flange mo, which is 1.3 sa each flange. So, times 2. Okay? Tapos, i-deduct mo lang doon, lumalabas you have 97.3 kips. Okay? Ibig sabihin pala, no, based dito, no, sa demonstration natin dito, sa overall na shear force na in-apply mo sa section mo, parang negligible pala yung effect ni flange. Okay? And lahat talaga ng bumubuhat ng shear force mo, naka-web lahat. Okay? Kaya pagdating sa checking ng wide flange, ang ina-activate lang talaga natin is yung yung web. Okay? Yung web lang talaga yung nagre-resist ng shear force. Okay? So basically, yun yung basis natin. Okay? And yun yung gagamitin natin sa code. Okay? Punta tayo sa provision. Okay? Pagdating sa provision, makikita nyo yung provision ni NSCP sa shear calculation kay section 507. Okay? And ito yung mga formulas natin, no? Ang sabi ni code, you would fail into two limit state. Number 1 yung shear yielding, and number 2 yung shear buckling. Ito yung formula natin. Okay? Yan yung formula natin. So ito pa yung mga mga part ng provision, pero siguro i-skip ko na yon kasi mag-proceed na tayo dun sa pinaka summary. Okay? Pinaka summary. So ito yung first part, no? Ito yung second part, tapos sige, interpret na natin siya. So basically, no, ang formula natin for nominal shear strength calculation is simply ito. B sub n is equal to 0.6 F sub y, A sub W, C sub B. Okay? So, paano ba nag-arrive dito? Okay? So, basically, nag-arrive dyan using yung mga diniscuss natin kanina. Okay? Pag gusto mong kumuha ng horizontal shearing stress, ito yung gagamitin mo. Pero sabi natin, hindi na kasi ano yan, no? Mag-applicable yan for wide flange kasi parang lumalabas. Pagdating sa wide flange talaga, ang bumubuhat lang naman talaga ng shear force mo, yung area ng web. Kaya dito, yung gagamitin natin, yung average, yung tinatawag na average web shear stress, no? And shear stress is simply ano yung shear force times yung area ng ano, ng web. Okay? Parang ito yung mga pinaka-formula natin. So, i-rearrange mo yan. Okay? So, ibig sabihin, B is equal to shear stress area of web. Okay? So, ito na yon from this equation. Okay? Ito na yung magiging equation natin. Tapos from this one, naging ganito. Kasi yung una, yung sa shear, limited lang yan as per the code by 0.6 F sub Y. Okay? And then yung A sub W, ito yon. And meron kang factor na dinagdag. No? Itinatawag natin to na web shear coefficient factor. Okay? Sige. Yung area ng web, malinaw yan. No? That is simply depth ng section times thickness of web. Okay? Sige. Tuloy natin, no? So, paano ngayon nakaka-calculate yung value ng C sub B kasi siya yung bagong parameter. Okay? So, yung value ng C sub B, actually, nagbabago siya, no? Case to case basis. So, halimbawa, case 1 tayo for webs of hot-rolled I-shaped sections daw. So, ang sabi niya for case 1, by the way, no? Kung sa flexural check or strength, meron tayong tinatawag na slenderness ratio or yung actual width to thickness ratio. Dito kay shear check, meron din, no? Applicable din yung width to thickness ratio. Kaya mapansin mo, ayan, no, H over thickness of web. Iko-compare mo din siya with the limiting slenderness ratio. Ito naman yung value nun, 2.24 square root of P over Fy. Okay? Okay? Ito yung width to thickness ratio ng web. So, ibig sabihin, kung pasok ka sa equation na to, kung kay case 1 ka and pasok ka sa equation na to, ito yung gagamitin mong mga equation as per the code, no? Lumalabas daw na yung C sub B mo is equal to 1.0, yung P sub B mo for LRFD is 1.0, yung omega sub B mo for ASD is 1.5. And ang sabi ni code, ang mode of failure mo dyan or limit state is shear yielding. Wala ka daw dito local web buckling. Okay? So yun lang yun, no? Basically, pag nag-fall ka sa range na to, okay ka na, no? Kay case 1 ka na. Pero may mga cases na hindi ka magpo-fall sa equation na yan, papasok ka na ngayon kay case 2. Okay? So for kay case 2, no? Gusto ko lang i-emphasize, nagbago na yung value ng mga under strength mo. P sub B is 0.9, yung omega sub B is 1.67. Okay? So dalawa pala yung value pagdating sa shear strength checking, no? Nung mga under strength mo. Kailangan mo malaman kung anong case ka. Okay? So kay case 2, meron kang tatlong equation na dapat i-check. Kung pasok ka dito sa range na to, okay? Papakita ko na lang, yung C sub B mo is ito. Kung hindi ka pasok diyan, kailangan mo i-check yung next equation or range. Kung pasok ka diyan, yung C sub B mo is this equation. Kung hindi ka pa rin pasok dito sa second, kailangan mo i-check itong third. Kung okay ka na dito, yung C sub B mo, this one. Okay? Ito lang yung mga parameters, okay, na nakalagay dyan. Most likely, hindi ako magbibigay ng case that would fall into case 2. Okay? Nireply ko lang dito. Okay? Sige, most likely case 1. Okay? Sige. And again, the final formula for the design shear strength using the nominal value, okay, pare-parehas lang naman yan, okay, for LRFD and for ASD. Sige. Bago tayo mag-calculate, tapusin na natin tong deflection check para isang bagsakan na lang, no? Yung mga lahat ng topic na na-discuss natin would fall into strength limit state, no? Strength limit state or check. Now, hindi lang basta strength limit state yung dapat nating i-check. Kailangan din natin i-check yung serviceability requirement, no, ng ating mga design, okay? So, one of the included sa serviceability requirement is yung deflection check. Okay? Ibig sabihin, kailangan mong gumamit ng service load or unfactored load. Ibig sabihin, hindi mo siya gagamitan ng load factor. Okay? Okay? Limits set by project specification. So, yun, no? Iko-compare mo lang yung actual deflection due to applied loads or service load by the limits na provided by project specification. May papakita tayo mamaya sample table, okay? And then usually, no, by ano daw yon, by the maximum deflection is limited by the span length L. No? So dito merong L over 240, L over 360, okay? So on and so forth. Okay? So sige, pakita natin ano ba yung sample nung yung actual tapos yung limit, no? So halimbawa, meron kang simply supported, uniformly loaded na beam, yung maximum vertical deflection mo at midspan is itong equation na to. Okay? Itong equation na yan. Now, in terms of the limit, so halimbawa, gumamit tayo ng International Building Code or IBC 2015, no? Yung deflection limit diyan, yung pinaka-table nila ito. Okay? So merong roof beam, merong floor beam sa type of member. So halimbawa, floor beam. Okay? Tapos yung kasunod, ang applied load natin is live load only. Okay? Yung maximum deflection mo daw is L over 360. Okay? Kapag halo na yung load mo, dead load and live load. Okay? Ang expected mo na maximum ano daw, deflection limit is L over 240. So basically, ito yung mga example ng project specification deflection limits. Okay? So let me ano lang, no, emphasize lang, no, kahit LRFD yung pinapagamit sa na design procedure sa problem, pag deflection check yon, service load lagi ang gamit, meaning hindi mo kailangang apply ng load factor kasi deflection check to. Okay? Sana malinaw yon, no? Okay, sige. Bago matapos yung deflection check, bago natin tapusin, i-discuss ko lang tong tinatawag na camber, no, or cambering. Um, Siguro first time yung narinig to, yung tinatawag na camber. Okay? Basically ano to, no? Strategy to na ginagawa on site to limit yung deflection ng ating mga system. Okay? So ano ba tong ginagawa sa camber? Okay? So imagine, no? O, sige. Yung camber daw is calculate deflection in beams for expected service dead load, provide deformation in beam equal to a percentage of the dead load deflection and opposite in direction. So it is important daw na not to overcamber, no? So and also kung meron kang camber na ginawa sa design mo, dapat mo siyang i-reflect, no, sa mga drawings mo, okay? And ang results niyan, in effect niyan, pag nag-introduce ka ng cambering, straight yung beam mo after construction, okay? Para mas na-visualize nyo, yung tinatawag na camber. Okay? So, ito yung beam without camber, yung usual na beam natin, no? Straight yan. Ngayon, mag-apply ka ng dead load dyan, yung self weight pa lang, okay? Magde-deflect ka na kaagad, wala ka pang live load. No? Dead load pa lang yan, nag-deflect na kaagad yung beam mo. Okay? Tapos yung deflection mo na yan, minsan critical yan, no? Dapat nung kontrolin. Okay? Ngayon, due to ano yan, no? For example, yung thickness ng yung self weight ng slab, no? Yung self weight nung girder mo, no? Due to dead load pa lang, okay? Wala pang ang live load. Now, ang ginagawa nating strategy, no, ng mga engineer, nag-i-introduce sila ng tinatawag na cambering, no? Kumbaga, yung in-order nila na wide flange, kung wide flange man to, is naka-ano siya, naka-curve siya upward, no, naka-bend siya upward, wala pang load na nilalagay directly from the manufacturer, no? So may mga process na ginagawa para ma-curve yung beam mo like so. Okay? So halimbawa, in-install mo na yung ano mo, curve beam mo diyan, no? Sa ano mo, sa site mo. Tapos naglagay ka ng dead load. So nung naglagay ka ng dead load, no? Meron kang cambering pala na D or deflection papataas na D, no? Naglagay ka ng dead load, anong nangyayari? Nag-level ano lang siya, no? Nag-level out lang siya. Okay? So dead load pa lang to, level out pa rin siya. Okay? So pero pwede ka pang maglagay ng live load. Okay? So yun yung purpose ng cambering. It counteracts yung service dead load deflection. Okay? Okay, sige. Okay na tayo sa mga theory, no? Mag-example problem tayo. Last example problem for this chapter. Okay? Sige, basahin natin, no? Using example problem number 2, okay, yan yun, simply supported, 9-meter span, UDL load. Investigate the beam adequacy against shear and deflection check. Okay? The beam is 836, 24 by 55. Tapos, i-consider daw natin yung weight of beam, no? Service load are 35 kilonewton per meter. Live load is 95 kilonewton per meter. Assume the deflection limits as L over 240. Okay? Ito yung section properties ng ating wide flange. First item na tinatanong, evaluate yung web width to thickness ratio. Next item, determine the design shear strength, no? Adequate ba yung system natin against shear? And last item, find the actual maximum beam deflection and adequate ba yung beam natin, no, against the limit, no, na binigay sa problem. Okay? Sige. Now, for this one, siguro hindi ko na siya isosolve, no? Isosolve. Gagamitin na lang natin yung calculation from the other section. Pero, ang gagawin natin is, obviously, i-reflect natin, no, yung calculation from the other section. Okay? So ito na yun. Okay? Para mas mabilis. Okay? So number 1, okay, yung actual, no, width to thickness ratio. Okay? Web width to thickness ratio. So ito yung ano natin. Since by the way, since ano tayo, W shape tayo, pasok agad tayo kay case 1. And yung equation ni case 1 for width to thickness ratio, ito yun. Okay, H over TW. Okay, plug in natin yung mga values that is also equal to this equation. Plug in natin yung values that is 54.8, no? Compare natin siya with the limiting slenderness ratio. Ito 'yon. Okay? Plug in natin yung values lumalabas that is 63.61. Okay? Compare natin yung dalawang equation. So we would have less than, meaning applicable tayo for case 1, no? Yung mga formula natin for case 1 is applicable. Okay? Now, since applicable tayo, parang lumalabas ngayon, no? Kung itutuloy natin yung item B, yung design shear strength, okay? Pag case 1 ka kasi, ito yung ano mo, no? Ito yung mga parameters mo. P sub B is 1.0 kasi LRF din yung pinapagamit. C sub B is 1.0. Okay? Plug in natin yung mga formula. Ito yung formula natin. Nominal shear strength is 0.6 Fy. A sub W, C sub B. Okay? And area of web is simply depth ng section times thickness of web. Plug in natin yung mga values. 0.6, 248, 599.4 yung depth. Thickness of web is 10. 1.0 yung C sub B. Divide mo ng 1,000 yan for conversion factor. You would have 891.9072 kilonewton for the nominal shear strength. Okay? Since LRF dito, gagamit tayo ng B sub U, which is equal to P sub B times B sub N. So parang wala din nangyari kasi 1.0 yung ating under strength. Okay? So all in all, our shear available strength, no? Shear strength is 891 kilonewton. Okay? Okay? Question, no? Ano ba yung advocacy natin, no? Yung pala yung hindi natin na-explain, no? Ano ba yung advocacy natin? Kasi tinatanong niyan dito yung advocacy, no? So kasi meron na tayong due to section na provide, no? Yun yung capacity talaga. Kailangan nating ang gawin next is to calculate yung maximum shear, no? Maximum shear ng ating system, no? And yung maximum shear natin should be based dun sa load na in-apply natin, okay? So again, no? Kung gusto natin i-calculate yung maximum shear acting dun sa simply supported UDL load, no? Ang reaction mo diyan would be WL over 2. Okay? Kapag drino mo yung shear diagram mo, ganito din, okay? So lumalabas na yung formula for maximum shear, which is the reaction, is WL over 2. Okay? Now, hindi pa tayo kumpleto kasi kung kukunin talaga natin yung due to applied load na maximum reaction, una, no? Although mayroon siyang load na binigay, kailangan natin i-consider yung self weight ng beam kasi sa problem sinabi, consider yung self weight ng beam. So yung self weight ng beam is ito, okay? Yan yung area. Lumalabas it's 0.848 no, kilonewton per meter. Pwede na tayong gumamit ng load factor, okay? Or yung load combo natin kasi nga LRFD or design. So that is 1.2 dead load plus 1.6 live load. 1.2 dead load, ito yung applied sa sa girder, ito yung self weight, ito yung live load. Okay, lumalabas na yung W mo, yung factored total load, no? Or self weight is 198. Sorry, factored load, no? UDL 194 kilonewton, okay, per meter. Plug in mo sa equation ng reaction, it would give you this one and ang sagot is 877.34 no, kilonewton. Now, ito kasi no, yung reaction na yan na din yung yung maximum shear from shear diagram, which is also the maximum shear due to applied load or the required strength. Punta tayo sa DCR para malaman yung capacity or yung advocacy. So required strength, yung due to load, ito yon. Okay, over yung available strength, yung given sa section, ito yon, 891. Okay, plug in natin sa equation. Okay, lumalabas na we have a DCR of 0.98. So malapit na, no? Malapit na ma-reach yung 1.0. Okay, so pero safe pa rin tayo, okay, against shear failure. Okay? Now, okay na tayo sa item B. Okay? Next is yung deflection na, okay? Deflection check. Punta muna tayo sa actual deflection, okay? Now, yung maximum deflection kasi for a given UDL load, simply supported, is itong equation na to. Okay? Yan yun. Okay? 5 over 384 WL to the port over EI. Okay? And nabanggit ko na to, ilang beses ko na inuulit, no? Pag deflection check, dapat walang load factor yung mga loads mo. Kasi serviceability check to. Okay? So, ibig sabihin, dapat yung load combo ng ASD, no? Kumbaga dapat ang gagamitin mo ito na. Okay? From this one, ito dapat yung magiging ano mo, magiging calculation mo sa ano, sa total load. Okay? Self weight, tapos yung load factor, okay? 35 plus self weight, tapos ito yung live load natin. Simplify yung total UDEL load natin, no, is 130. So doon nang galing 'yon. Okay? So the rest of the parameters for the formula ng deflection is given naman. So plug in mo dito lahat, lalabas it's 99.43 millimeter na maximum deflection. Okay? Now, sa problem kasi, ang sinabi, ang maximum deflection limit daw is L over 240. Wherein yung L natin is 9 meters. So i-plug in lang natin doon, that is 9,000. Divide mo, that is 37.5. Okay? Calculate natin yung DCR. DCR is due to load. No? Yung due to applied load. Ito yon, yung actual, 99 millimeter. Tapos yung pinaka-denominator mo yung limit, which is yung 37.5. Plug in, calculate mo, you would have a DCR for deflection check na 2.65. Okay? So ibig sabihin, lampas na tayo sa allowed deflection limit as per the project specification. Okay? So basically, no, that explain no yung problem natin and na-solve na natin yung ating last problem, problem number 5. Okay? Hopefully it was crystal clear, no? Kung may questions kayo, sige po, you could ask naman. Okay? So pinasnak na lang natin para matapos tayo kaagad. Okay? Mayroon ba kayong question or clarification bago natin i-end yung ating discussion? So okay, I think wala, no? So sige.